Hi everyone, my name is Dana Gelsomino and this is episode 20 of the Ask a Question show, the show in which you ask a question about any type of narcissistic or otherwise abusive or toxic relationship or situation, and I, along with the rest of the community here, will do our very best to help answer it. Our goal is to give you the feedback and the support that you need so that you can move forward in getting the clarity, the closure, and the healing that you so deserve. And so today's question comes from Tammy. Tammy asks, Dear Dana, how can I tell if I'm seeing a red flag or if I'm just being hyper vigilant? Fantastic question, right? So if you guys haven't seen any of my, I have a series. It's called Red Flags of a Narcissist, and it's basically, there's going to be about 50 or so videos in all. I think I'm up to like 34 now. Videos on behaviors that like most, if not all, manipulative people have. And so where it can become confusing is it's not just manipulative people that have these behaviors. A lot of normal, decent human beings also have these behaviors. So then it can kind of get tricky as far as like separating out, well, you know, what kind of person are you dealing with? And so I think really the best way to proceed is to move in the direction of trying to seek clarity. And seeking clarity, it starts with finding clarity with what you're looking for, right? And in another partner, if you're talking about dating wise. So look, getting clarity as far as like what are you really looking for? What is a deal breaker for you? Right? What is workable behavior for you? And then getting clarity as far as like using your logic and reason to move forward in finding out if this person does indeed match what you're looking for. And so it's, the whole kind of adage of love is blind, there's a lot of truth to that. And that's where a lot of people, myself included, have gone wrong. Is we meet somebody, we get really wrapped up, especially with manipulative people, because that's how they operate. They can't have you use your logic and reason, because if you did, you would not allow them to manipulate you, right? So their whole goal is to snow you, and to distract you enough from using logic and reason, so you're just making decisions based off of emotion. And that has to do in the form of, pity or love or fear, or, there's like a whole range of emotion that they really kind of prey upon. So, when you first go about meeting somebody, especially in that first like 2 weeks, I guarantee you will know within 2 weeks if you're seeing problematic behavior. And if you use your logic and reason and you don't gloss over it, and you really do take that time as kind of the whole purpose of dating isn't to just date, and it isn't to just hope that they pick you, right? And that be like, okay, well, they like me, yay. And I get it, because I was, I get like that too. It's like you see somebody that you really like, and then you really want to date them. But the reality is, during this time, it's very, very important that you use your logic and reason. You don't get caught up in the emotion of it all. And you're focusing on not being chosen, but being choosy. So this is like an interview process for you. So it's like your whole goal is to figure out, okay, based on what I have clarity about, which is what I'm looking for in another human being to be in my life, does this person match my criteria? And in my criteria, what is negotiable and what is deal breaker behavior? And so, okay, back to the red flags, right? So different people are going to have different deal breaker behavior. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person's even manipulative or a narcissist or a bad person. It could just be that doesn't work for them. For example, I have a friend recently who broke up with a guy. He had a porn addiction. And and he admitted it. He was working, going through help with it, but she just didn't like that at all, and it really grossed her out and turned her off. And so she called things off with him. And that's, is he a normal, nice, decent person that has an addiction? Possibly. I mean, it could be something more, but it didn't matter to her, because that was her line in the sand. So when she saw that red flag, she was out the door. Another red flag might be, if a person is, let's say, one of the red flags is, poor financial management. Well, I live in the state of Michigan. I think everybody here could be, that red flag would be up there. Most people here have gone through foreclosures or bankruptcies. It doesn't mean that they're financially irresponsible. It means that they really got caught in the housing bubble. Most likely. I'm sure there are people out here that have poor financial management. But that's the whole point, is to dig and to gather more information, and then to figure out, okay, what this person is going through in their life, is this something that I want to take on? I had another friend who, her thing is, she's 50 And she doesn't want to date a guy that has minor children. She's done raising children. I totally don't blame her. And so when she dates, that's kind of deal breaker stuff. So that's not one of the red flags. Like having small children, right? Is not one of the red flags. But for her, it doesn't need to be for her to have that be a deal breaker. Now, if you're seeing, certain other behaviors, I would strongly encourage you. I think one of the main ways that a lot of us go wrong is we tend to excuse a lot of behavior. We think, well, we instantly jump from this person's got this weird squirrely behavior, or maybe even like really severe behavior that would be deal breaker behavior for most people. But we go to like the opposite side, we justify it, and we're like, oh, well, nobody's perfect. Well, but the reality is, this is true. However, there's this huge like middle area there. And so you have to find out, it's not like we can't just use that excuse of, well, nobody's perfect to just gloss over a bunch of red flags, because I guarantee you, I would say probably every single person out there watching these videos is nodding their head being like, yep, that's exactly what I did. Because that's what I have heard from probably by now thousands, if not tens of thousands of people, excuse me. And that has been the ongoing pattern. That was my pattern of saying, well, okay, I guess that's, it's not ideal behavior. It's not, not ideal behavior, but it's understandable, right? But we don't want to just understand it. We want to use logic and reason and really figure out, okay, what's going on? And then of course, using emotion as well. Like what does your gut instinct say about things? So, logic, reason, and emotion, making your decisions. So I hope that helps. I will be curious to hear what everybody else in the community has to say. And take care. I will talk to you guys soon. And, questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas, insights, let me know. You want some support. I will link down to my support group below. It is now on my website. It is so much easier to find stuff and navigate and so on. So please take a peek. Check it out. And, as always, lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can heal from this. You so totally can. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.